Hello, everybody. Welcome along. This is Championship Review Game Week number 2. Get involved. We are live here on YouTube and on Twitter. We are going to go through all of this weekend's championship action. So if your team played, if your team won, if your team lost, get involved in the comments. Try and comment on the game we're talking about as we go. We're going to go through all 12 of the games. Every single team was in action as ever. When I start these videos, I say, can you hear me? Can you see me? Everything look all right? Everything sound all right? Give me the feedback in the comments. And as well, you know, hopefully by now, if you follow this channel, this show has a fan sponsor, very, very kindly brought to us by Russ Peak, a good friend of mine, actually now a fan and now a friend, despite Ben's terrible taste in football teams. You can see Russ there sporting his rather garish Norwich City shirt, but it's a good thing. He's a really great guy because we can forgive him his team that drew 2-2 this week with Preston. So thank you, Russ. If you want to be a fan sponsor, get in contact. We got a new one yesterday for Dearly Departed as well. So fabulous stuff. In fact, he's commented there. Jay there. Glad to be the latest fan sponsor on the channel. Get your comments in, everybody. I'll start reading them through. Kronos says, Reading and Luton lead the way. Some Bristol City must be a cricket team, hey? Now, my crystal ball wasn't working this morning when I set the stream up, Kronos, and Bristol City hadn't played at that point. So you'll forgive me not being able to read the future. There we go. George, how you doing? Another amazing performance by my team, Bristol City. There we go. Hi, Alistair. Matthew asking about the Bloomsday device. That's my fantasy team. Look, the fantasy show's out on Thursday, but spoiler alert, I had Song Heung-min in my team and I took him out. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not very happy today. That sounded like an interlude during the Fresh Prince. So it's just a hip-hop drum beat sample I found. Right, let's get everything going. Try and Bit says, selling your soul to the enemy. He's my mate, all right? He's my mate. It's allowed. There we go. Right, we're going to go through. We'll go top to bottom. So if anyone asks in the feed, oh, has he covered so-and-so? Can someone just cover my back in the feed so that I don't have to get involved in all of that gubbins? Let's first of all start off. We'll just bang through the results before we go through game by game. It was on Friday night, Coventry City 3, QPR 2 on Sky. Hopefully a few of you were here for the watch along for that. Good game, that really good second half. Forest 0, Cardiff 2. Pressure is mounting on Mr. Lamucci there after just 2 games. Luton 2, Derby 1. Luton on fire, continuing on from last season. Derby, bad start. Borough 1, Bournemouth 1. Some fans in there up at Borough. The same at Norwich. Norwich 2, Preston 2. Fans in at Carrow Road. Wednesday 0, Watford 0, -8 for Wednesday. Reading 2, Barnsley 0. I was there. I went to a game of football, by God, after 6 months. I'll tell you all about it. Blackburn 5, Wycombe 0. Not a good start for Wycombe. Brentford 3, Huddersfield 0. Brentford christened the opening of their new stadium with a league victory. Rotherham 0, Millwall 1. Millwall first victory of the season. Swansea 0, Birmingham 0. I told Karanka, everybody. He will grind them results out. And as we've already had a couple of excitable Bristol City fans in the comments, Stoke 0, Bristol City 2. Dean Holden is impressing everybody at the moment. Are we going to conclude that Lee Johnson was underperforming at that club? I wonder. Keep your comments coming. I am going... Well, let me just do a quick little check. Oh, I had to do a quick check because Jim is in with a super chat. Thank you so much, Jim. Early wine funker. He knew I was on the wine, didn't he? We drink to you, sir. Thank you, Jim. And yes, you can get involved and contribute to the channel via super chat. It doesn't go to wine. It goes to my wages, literally. Right. Game number 1 was the game I was at. It was Reading 2, Barnsley 0. If I remove that ticker at the bottom, you should actually, I mean, you can see everything there. Maite and Olise with the goals in this one. Hellick and Anderson, as you can see, were sent off. For those asking, I had press accreditation for this one. I did some work for a website, a preview and a review. Hopefully more of that as we go. So good news for me, good news for the channel. Here is the opening goal. Absolute mess, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Barnsley players in the 6-yard box, but it's gone up in the air. Then Morrison's flicked it on, and Maite sticks it in for 1-0, the substitute. Remember, Barnsley down to 10 at this point. However, what a goal. I'm back in stadiums. That is Michael Elise, who will appear in my oft-mentioned 10 young players to watch for the championship season. That is a slamming volley. I think if you look at the yellow shirt of Kilian Ludovic, who is, how can I describe this? In line with the corner of the 6-yard box. He's just cleared that on the full. Elise hits that one left-footed. That's going to fly into the corner to Walton's left-hand side. A sublime, venomous volley in there. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. The numbers, well, they say a decent win for Reading, 58 on the possession. However, look there, 9 shots to 6. In terms of the big chances, only 1 apiece. I can tell you firsthand, the scoreline didn't necessarily reflect this game because Barnsley were well on top for the first 35 minutes. The sending off then changes the game a little bit. Gerhard Struben, I asked him about this in the post-match press conference, just keeps on attacking, and eventually Reading managed to pick them off. We get the second red card. So it's a bit of an interesting one, really, because Reading are sitting pretty on the top there. I think, from what I've heard, they played a lot better at Derby the previous week than they did in this game. But 2 wins from 2 for Paunovic. Great stuff. Let's have a little look. Oh, we've got another super chat there. Let's read that out. Paul, thank you so much. Very, very kind. We'll drink to you, sir. Lovely stuff. Don't show me alcohol on my screen. The hangover is killing me, says Jay. John says, Barnsley in trouble this season. Played 2 teams probably in and around them and been done over. Honestly, John, there was every chance they win this game without the red card. Honestly, I can tell you that one. But Reading did the job. Reading got the win. Alistair didn't play well, but a sign of a good team to grind out the win. Yep, can't argue with that, can we? A Barnsley lack a top striker. Yes, I think I agree with that. However, this was all about the red cards, Jim, in this one. Paunovic's doing good so far. 44 games to go. That is a very fair point. There we go. Reading and Bristol City for promotion. Are we getting carried away? 2 games gone, guys. Only 2 games gone. Brilliant stuff. Paul says, paid money live, but prefer recording at double speed. Do I speak too slow? Some people tell me I speak too fast. Some people will tell me I speak too slow. But thank you very much, Paul. Very, very kind. So well done, Reading. All I would say is Reading fans, don't get too carried away yet. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be in and around the top 6. Barnsley fans, don't worry yet. I think Barnsley will beat a fair amount of teams playing like that. So, yes, moving on. And we can talk to these excitable Bristol City fans because Bristol City have started really, really well, haven't they? They beat Coventry this past weekend. And then in the midweek, they had that demolition of Northampton with the massive possession. And today, they've gone away to Stoke, who myself and a lot of people predicted to finish in the top 6 and have a really good season and won 2-0 early on. And look, Chris Martin has already knocked Famara Jeju out of that team and is in the starting lineup. He sets up the opening goal for Naki Wells. Weimann gets the second one. We can have a little look at the stills right now rather than me tell you. I can show you a great goal. When you look at striking instincts there, he's going to spin on the ball. Keeper right next to him. I guess that's Adam Davis, isn't it? And Wells is going to slap that into the top corner. He'll get you goals in this division. Don't you worry about that. And here is the second. Semenyo, 18 there, has robbed that. Fed it across to Weimann, who's just a very steady player, isn't he, for Bristol City? Always does their main job. Get your comments in on this one, Stoke and Bristol City. Let's look at the numbers there. 51 on the possession to Stoke, 10-8 on the shots. Where's the big chances? Look at the big chances, as always revealing 3-0 in terms of Bristol City. So look, I'm not using big chances or XG as a golden bullet here, but it is revealing. Excuse me. Let me get my shorts out of the shot there. No one wants to see that, do they? Let's get your comments in on Bristol City versus Stoke. Where are we having a look? Tyreek Pogba Bakinson. You're getting excited about Bakinson, Joshua? Well, he's ahead of Hanno and Masengo, who was very expensive. So there we go. I did that silly stop the badge for the championship winners. Stopped on Reading first, Bristol City second. There you go. Bristol City gone the Wednesday expensive 30-year-old way. Works or leaves you in a mess. Well, let's have a look. We're doing so well. I know it's only 2 games, but I think we're going up. The squad depth is so good and we have 6 players injured. Interesting. Dean Holden literally hasn't done anything since coming in. Great recruitment, great football, perfect team selection from youth experience, and such an honest bloke. Do you mean hasn't done anything wrong, or just hasn't done anything, just seen it all out? Speaking of revealing, Ben, and you're sure, yeah, sorry. As I said, no one wants to see that. So great stuff for Bristol City. 2 wins and Dean Holden proving me wrong. I thought he'd struggle. I really, really did. But remember, there is this possible narrative here with Bristol City where Lee Johnson was a little bit chaotic and changed a lot of stuff about. And he might just go in and take a good club with a good owner, good recruitment and some good players, knit it all together quite simply and have a good season. Who the hell knows? 100% Holden. Yeah, anything wrong. Dean Holden is finally giving the youngsters a chance, says Barlio, unlike Lee. Well, there you go. Let's move on. So well done, Reading and Bristol City. We have one other 100%er, and that is down the road from me, Luton Town, who I did predict would beat Derby. They win 2-1 in this one. Derby have not started the season well. Let's have a look at that Luton team. Yeah, very, very settled. In fact, I think that's unchanged, isn't it? Berry and from the bench there, Jordan Clark from Accrington. I think he scored in the League Cup as well, didn't he? And Marriott with the goal there for Derby. Derby missing. Who's that centre half they're missing there? Andre Wisdom covering across there. Oh, Taveric, who got sent off, didn't he? Rooney back in the team, but Shinnie remains in the deep line double pivot there. Kamil Joszwiak makes his debut, the Polish winger that we heard all about. There is Berry. High foot, anybody? No, he's not near. He's not the keeper. I jest. Nice cross in from the left-hand side. Let me just check the assist. Did Norrington Davis get 2 assists? It's not telling me that. Someone will let me know in the comments, because that did come across from the left. And Berry puts it in. There is Jack Marriott. He's going to find the gap with that one and stick that one through for 1-1. And then late on in the game, another cross from the left. Let me know in the comments who it was. Was it Norrington Davis who started well there? And on the back post there is Jordan Clark with the header and the winning goal. With Koku, a lot of possession there, but big chances revealing again. 35% possession, 3 big chances to 0. We talk about possession a lot on the channel, but good teams create lots of big chances and they don't concede very many. They don't keep the ball and create no big chances, essentially. That's just one part of the game. You've got to kind of lace it all together. So get your thoughts in on Luton, looking very, very nice. Let's have a look here. Martin, great start for Luton. Have a really good feeling about this team. Unity and a way of winning games. Jordan Clark, 2 goals. Indeed. Talking of Luton, Luton playing Man United during the week. We'll have a look on that one. Let's have a look here. Remember, Derby started last season poor, then got better. Yep, very, very true. First goal was a Lee assist. Yeah, I get corrected. Thank you, guys. Nathan Jones and Luton seem to fit. Door on Tour, go and follow him. Great YouTuber. Didn't I tell you about Luton, Benjamin? There you go, indeed. Nick says, played so well first half, could have scored 3. Elliot Lee assisted the third. Was it Norrington Davis who assisted the second one? 2 really nice crosses in from the left. And I think it says those goals says everything about probably the state of this game, whereby Luton, they attack fast, they transition quickly and attack quickly, but they get the crosses in when they are attacking down the sides, whereas Derby will take, Luton will be looking at a 3 or 4 pass quick counter-attack to create a big chance, whereas Derby, it's going to be more like 7 to 10 passes to create one. That is the difference, I think. So, well done, Luton. So those are our 3 heroic 100%ers. Let's move on. To the next in line is Bournemouth and Jason Tyndall. They draw 1-1 with one of the contenders for my goal of the week. I should have already said that one of the others was Michael Elise. 1-1 draw. Some fans in the ground for this one. Lovely to see. Sorry, team-wise there. Some stars in for Bournemouth. Look, Solanke, Brooks, both starting there. Look at that. Mepham and Kelly both bought for big money out of this division as well. Remember, Warnock has COVID or is getting over COVID. I think that was at the start of last week we heard about that, so he wouldn't have been around, but fairly settled. I think, in fact, yeah, it's exactly the same team. They played against Watford in the first game. Isn't it? This is a brilliant goal. That's straight from a corner. That is Dominic Solanke on the volley, Gianfranco Zola style, a volleyed back heel. That is going to go in on Bettinelli's near post. Bournemouth, whatever you say about them, have provided us 3 brilliant goals by Stacey, Danjuma and Solanke already this season. So they certainly have some technically very good players capable of scoring some very good goals. That is, I think you can see him in the bottom of the picture there. I think it's Anthony Dijksteel. No, it wasn't. It was actually McNair, who's even further back. A sublime cross there. It's going to swing all the way around. And that is Marcus Brown, isn't it? It's going to head that one in. Let's have a look at the stats. Look at that. Borough, 51% on the possession. 18 shots Borough had in this one. 1 big chance apiece. Borough outpassed Bournemouth as well. 269 to 265 and 165 to 157 on the accuracy. That is very, very interesting. Who would have thunk that a Neil Warnock team would be outpassing and outshooting by 2 shots to 1 a newly relegated Premier League team? Interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's have a look. Did you just call Solanke a star? The game's gone if you think that. I'm saying an expensive player. A star player as in a championship team fielding what did he cost? 20 million quid is what I am saying. A highly paid for asset. Whatever word you're comfortable with. But yeah, chill. Zahor would be good, but he's hedging his bets, seeing what offers he gets. Let's have a look. Anything on Bournemouth? And there we go. Elliot says that was one of the worst Bournemouth performances I've seen. I heard we had 59% pass accuracy. Exactly what happens when you drop Lewis Cook. Ashley says Borough deserved the draw. We couldn't play the way we usually like against a typical Warnock side. Let's have a look down here. Borough should be Birmingham. Borough v Birmingham should be fun for the neutral then, yes. Absolutely. And Mr. Psycho Badger adds Tariq Bakinson, I think it is, next player off the production line there. So Bournemouth still up there, though. Win and a draw in these first 2 games. And exactly the same is Norwich City, who, are they unchanged there? Yes, he loves an unchanged team, Farker, when he's settled on one, doesn't he? No Jordan Hugel in that team. Plachetta, well, he's going to come off the bench. And no Ben Gibson in yet. So am I allowed to say star? Some star players there, not in the team. Use whatever word you find comfortable. Preston, yeah, that looks fairly settled as well, doesn't it? Interesting. Maybe Alex Neil is finally learning. 2-2 this one. That is Scott Sinclair sticking a penalty home for 1-0. Fans in this game as well. Great news there. This is horrible from Declan Rugg. Tamu Pukki, who doesn't need any help in the Championship to score. Look at that. 2 hands behind the ball. He's virtually caught it. He's going to throw that one in, and Norwich get the equaliser. Preston going to take the lead again, and Darnell Fisher is going to right mug off. I don't know if that's Quintilla, he's going to put it behind him, basically. Quintilla is going to charge down the gap, but that volley is going where the Norwich player laid in the goal is for 2-1. Norwich equalise here. Nice finish there. Plachetta is following up his own shot. He's going to volley that one in before Declan Rudd in the goal can react. So it was 2-2, and I don't appear to have the stats there, which is most annoying. Let me just see if I can get them on the split screen. Do bear with me just 1 second, and we'll bring the stats up on the other screen. Come on, iMac, speed up. They all fit in one screen. Okay, right, I'm going to share, and you will see, there we go, 55% Norwich, but 16 shots to Preston, 9 corners to 4, 4 big chances to 2. Preston possibly could have scored more goals in this game. Norwich, as you'd expect under Farker, winning the possession game, but big chances is always a revealing stat in any game. Let's have a look at your comments on this one. Anything on Norwich versus Preston? Let's have a look. What app is it? SofaScore, Paul. SofaScore. Very decent indeed. How Preston let that slip, I don't know. Charlie thought Norwich was going to turn it around. Charlie, you tried being an Ipswich fan. You just expect Norwich to win every game in the last minute. Anything else on Norwich, Preston? And I will move on. Norwich 4 points, though, from the first 2 games. As I always say, season after season, 2 points per game at any point of the season, take it. Even after 2 games is what I will say. James, oh God, can I call him James Saville? Pleased to see Leeds winning again. Marcello will fix it. Oh dear. Okay, there we go. We'll be back with Dearly Departed. I'm not laughing. It's a joke, okay? Don't be offended by that, please, anybody, hopefully. I'll be back with Dearly Departed watch along tomorrow night for the Sheffield United, and then the Dearly Departed review will be on Tuesday during the day. Get involved for that one. Aitor Karanka went to Swansea. He left with a point. There weren't any goals in this one. Swansea, yes, that is settled. I think that's exactly the same team. And Birmingham as well. Scott Hogan not getting on the pitch. Presumably, he's not ready yet. We're waiting to see whether Karanka does partner Jutkovic with Hogan and ditch his faithful 4-2-3-1 there, or whether there's 2 players for one position there. I would think he'll try and partner them together. As you can see in this one, lots of possession for Swansea, but again, 10 shots to 8 there. I'm not seeing a big chances stat, which means there possibly were not any. But you can imagine how this one played out. Birmingham probably created some chances from maybe some set plays, some counters, and things of that nature. And Swansea will have tried to keep the ball, and it didn't work for either team. 0-0. But if I'm a Birmingham fan and Karanka has beaten Brentford, playoff finalists, in the first game and drawn at Swansea in the second game, I am perfectly happy with that. And if I'm a Swans fan as well, I'm perfectly happy with 4 points from those first 2. John says, point of fair result. Both had half chances, but decent away performance. Mikel San Jose and Jack Clark. That would be an interesting, very interested to see what Clark would do. Lee says, Karanka signed an Athletic Bilbao midfielder, Mikel San Jose. Lots of questions about this. Birmingham signed Mikel San Jose. We will look at him tomorrow. Look, guys, I'm going to write it down right now. We'll do a transfer update video tomorrow, I'm sure. In fact, let me know in the comments if any other transfers have gone through. Ben. If Ben don't give his opinion on one of the Swansea coaches grabbing John Terrell by the throat, I'll be shocked. Jay, I apologise. You didn't like it that I called Dom Solanke a star. When I'm prepping for these videos, it normally takes about an hour and a half. So if a game is 0-0, I'm only going and collecting goals. So I have not seen that incident yet. Please don't be shocked by that. I'm trying to cover 24 teams, not just one. So I will happily, I'll write it down. I'll happily go and have a look and give my opinion once I have seen it. If anyone wants to DM me that, I'll happily give my opinion during the show as well. So please don't be shocked, though. I think Karanka will be flexible, depending on the opposition. I hope so for your sake, Robert, because he's been very inflexible in previous seasons. Lee says, thanks. You're very welcome, Lee. Love having you in the chat here. And we've got a good number of Birmingham fans now. So good. I'd love to have every team, really, really represented. I should read that out, shouldn't I? Being the sponsor of the show is here. Thank you, Russ. Jay, DM me the video. How is my Premier? We're doing that on Thursday, Premier League Fantasy Team. Let's move on. And we are on to now Rotherham and Millwall. And it's a difficult start for the promoted teams, isn't it? We'll talk about Wycombe in a minute, but Rotherham, they beat Wycombe, and a difficult second game against Rowett's. Rotherham there ends 0-1. The Lions getting the win. I don't say this very often. I could have scored that goal. Look, keeper way out of his goal. Is that Johansson or Blackman? I can't tell. It's a bit blurry there. Let me know the Rotherham, actually. Why don't I just have a look back here? It is Blackman. And yeah, Jed Wallace in behind there. Slots home for his first goal. I think it's his, Millwall's first goal of the season. So it's got to be his. Get your comments on this one. 50-50 on the possession. Look at that. 14 shots to 8 for Rotherham, but no big chances. As I say, always revealing when it's no big chances. So Rotherham, just the one goal so far, that Ihekwa header from a set play there. And Millwall, 2 clean sheets and 4 points. I like that. That sounds like a decent start to me. Let's have a look here. Missed the game, was out at wedding all day. All accounts, it wasn't pretty. I don't think Rotherham's going to be pretty this season. I think they're going to be hard to play against. But we got the job done. I think a win at Rotherham is always a tough grind. Totally agree with that. Took Millwall 14 games in 17-18, 13 and 18-19, and 9 to register our first away win. There we go. Beautiful. Good timing, says Oliver. Welcome. I'm so pleased we've got football at the moment, but that was the second Millwall match in a row I found difficult to watch, and not because of the failings of I follow. Win's a win. Yep. As I said, 2 clean sheets, 4 points from 2 games. Take it. P.S. Bart's played 2, kept 2 clean sheets. That's what he does. I know. Rotherham probably tried to out Millwall and failed, though they seem better equipped to survive this time around. Yep, agree with all of that. Jay says he sent me the John Terrell incident. So look, I promised I'd give him my reply. Sent you a video. I just need to accept it first, Jay. It'll just come up in a second, and I will have a little look. In the meantime, just before we do that, if you will indulge me, guys, here in the chat. So I'm just going to remove your comment there, Jay. I just do a quick plug, if you guys don't mind. Support the channel via Super Chat, Amazon Shopfront, and Patreon as well. And you can please, sorry, I'm messing with plug up here. Comment, like, subscribe. 12,300 subs. Let's have a look at this now. This is Terrell.
He's had a little verbal.
He's had a little verbal.
Oh, it's the...
oh, dear. It was naughty, wasn't it? Well, my view on that, who was it, Jay, is that Swansea coach will be in trouble. He's fairly banged to rights on that. So there we go. Appreciate that. Russ is packing for his holiday. Very, very nice. Lovely stuff. Let's move on. And who are we on to next? We are on to, oh dear, Wycombe. It was Blackburn 5, Wycombe 0. Dolan, who looked very handy, actually, front right. Look out for him. I don't know a lot about him. Armstrong with a hat-trick. Derek Williams scores. You can see Darius Charles gets a red card, but I believe, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, I think it was already 3-0 when he got sent off. So not quite the impact the red card had in the same way it did in the Reading versus Barnsley game that I was at. There is Adam Armstrong putting the penalty in, spot the ball there. Look out for a pretty productive season from Armstrong, I think, if he plays down the centre all year. There is Tyrese Dolan. That's a rebound. He's obviously just going to slot that one to the keeper's left Allsop to make it 2-0. And this was a great goal, actually. A nice counter. Armstrong is screaming for that ball the whole time. But I think, is it Brereton? Let me remind myself. Yeah, Brereton holds onto it. And I guess on the overlap side of Rothwell or Bell, gets the crossover. And Armstrong's got the tap in. Nice goal, actually. Good counter. The red card has happened now. That is Derek Williams putting in number 4. And there is Adam Armstrong, 1v1. He's very quick. His finishing is very, very good. And they get the victory 5-0. I will, once again, I seem to have not got the stats up for that one. Although you'd imagine with a 5-0 with a red card in, we can probably pretty much all predict how they are going to look. But let's bring them up nonetheless. And I will go to the split screen. And yes, very, very ugly indeed. In fact, you probably don't want to see it if you're a Wycombe fan. 69% possession, 23 shots, 12 corners, 5 big chances to 0. Wow. Wycombe not competitive at all in that game. That does not look good for Gareth Ainsworth and the chair boys there. John says, got a feel for Wycombe, really, haven't you? They're so clearly out of their depth. It's not true. Just hope they don't go down with record low points or something daft. I don't want to sound horrible. Dave, do you think Wycombe could be a whipping boys team against some of the stronger teams? Well, so far it's happening, isn't it? It is happening. Gaza says, sticking with my 25 points prediction for Wycombe. Yeah, not popular here. Gareth Ainsworth gave long-haired man a bad reputation this weekend. Pleased to see you're bringing it back. Thank you, Paul Lambert. There we go. Any set play goals this weekend? Have we had any? Yeah, wait for Cardiff, Jay. Wait for Cardiff. That's all I'll say there. Wycombe love our ex-players at Millwall. Yes. Did Onyedinma play this week? More importantly, did we get cowboy boots and a leather jacket? Hey, I'm always pitching for not judging people on their appearance. So I won't go down that route, guys. But yeah, come on, Wycombe. Win a game. I think they've got Swansea next. We'll be back on Thursday with the preview show anyway, won't we? So Brentford 3, Huddersfield 0. Who are you more worried about, Wycombe or Huddersfield? Probably Wycombe, but I think we're all worried about Huddersfield as well, aren't we? Second defeat there, no goals scored. Okay, they've played Norwich and Brentford, who should by all rights be up the top of the league. De Silva, Mbuemo, and Marcus Force. Marcus Force has more goals than Ivan Toney so far. Interesting. That's a Josh De Silva classic, that, isn't it? Lots of players ahead of him. Ball gets cut back to him. He sweeps it home with the right foot there. Nice goal again by Josh De Silva. Good player. Very good at that particular skill. Force there. Well, forcing home, if I can say that one, goes loose from him in the box. Not quite sure about that offside appeal there when there's clearly a player about 3 feet away playing him onside. But Force with the goal. And another contender for goal of the week there. That is Brian Mbuemo. Look at that. Lovely technique, lovely body shape. That is going to fly in the top corner. And Mbuemo, not on form last week at Birmingham. Very much on form. Look at that. 57% possession to Huddersfield. Now, I didn't watch this game, but I would assume that either they had the ball during the game and did nothing with it, passed it around the back 4, or Brentford sat back after they were 2 and 3-0 up front. I don't know. I wasn't at the game. If anyone watched it, do let me know. As I always say, big chances are very revealing. And also having less possession and having 23 shots is very revealing as well. 4 big chances to 1 in that game in Brentford's favour and a 3-0 victory. You can't say fairer than that. Let's check your comments here. Ivan Toney with a 5.8 rating. Yeah, we can't pile on Toney yet, but now Mbeumo and Force have scored. If it goes a few more games and Force scores, say, another one from the bench, it's going to be, does Force start to be looking at getting the start? Bye-bye Huddersfield and Carlos Corberon. Well, not been a good start. 2 defeats, no goals. Brentford get a new stadium and no fans are able to enjoy it. Such a shame. It looks amazing. Yeah, shame for everybody, though, but nice to see people in at Borough and at Norwich. I don't like Brentford's ground. New ground, like terrible. I think I get where you're coming from there, Oliver. Toney just doesn't look like a Brentford forward, to be honest. Well, we'll see. We'll see. No goals yet. Let's move on. Who are we going to next? The Friday night game, which we were here for a watch along. This was a great game. It was 3-2. Coventry and QPR. Expect a lot of QPR games to be like that. Bit of a dodgy penalty. Who was it? It was McFadzean bringing down Bright Samuel. Dykes smashes that one straight down the middle. He's got 2 goals already. Lee Wallace there, look on the near post for some inexplicable reason, has run from left back to cover nobody on the near post. Matt Godden's quite happy to head in at the back post for 1-1. I really enjoyed this goal. That is Callum O'Hare. Go out of your way to look up his second touch in that move. Brilliant play. That was in my goal of the week contenders there. And this was brilliant as well. Look at that for technique. What they say on the half volley on the rise, get your knee over the ball. And that is centre-half Yohan Barbet with textbook get your knee over the ball half volley technique. Great goal, Barbet. Love that. However, QPR can't defend corners. There is McFadzean. He's going to make amends for giving away that penalty and header. That's actually going to go to Lumley's left in the goal. And QPR are going to lose this one, and incredibly unprofessionally again. I don't know what's gone wrong in my system here. I must have been chatting while I was uploading everything. I don't have the stats. Let me bring them up. Hang on. I could do the whole thing on the split screen, couldn't I? But I figure you guys would find that very boring if I don't have it all prepared in advance. Here we go to the split screen. 64% on the possession. But again, big chances are revealing 2-1 in Coventry's favour. It was a really, really good game. Coventry have confirmed the guy they sold to Norwich, whose name I've forgotten, that McCallum, is it? But really like Darboe and Giles, the 2 Coventry wing-backs as well. They're good to watch. Really good game, that, actually. Let's have a look. Anton, Wallace and Cameron, so poor for QPR. Russ says, can't defend set pieces. Where have I heard that before? Coventry game was amazing on stream. Ben couldn't take his eyes off it. Well, only to have a drink, wasn't it? There we go. That was a good point by Perfect Lemming. Where has that gone? There we go. I think it's a bigger jump from League One to the Championship than Championship to Premier League these days. Well, it'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting video, that actually, Perfect Lemming. Actually analyse who has done what there. I really hate QPR. They're impossible to predict. They really are. Only to predict both teams will score if you're a betting man. There you go. James, we really need to sort out our defence. Just a repeat from last season with less attacking quality. That's ominous. Not enough pace on the counter. Playing Amos as number 10 is poor. All great points, James. Appreciate that. Dave, thought it was sore the way Sky presented these 2 teams not kneeling before the game. I'm sure they're both supporting social justice in other ways and we're not deserving of crucifixion. I'll, as always, on the political stuff, I'll try and keep a wide berth, but I'll represent your views there in the chat there, Dave. I was doing the stream and I know they talked about something at halftime, but I have to have the sound down for this. Some of my subscribers tuned into QPR Coventry and loved it. Well, happy, Ben. Great stuff. Thoughts on the white wine? My second bottle of the weekend, Russ. So not good. I'm on the South African stuff this week. Coventry will be fine this season. I agree, Matthew. Indeed. Let's move on. Have I missed Watford and Sheffield Wednesday? Did I scoot past them? I shouldn't have. I think I did. Let me just do a little scroll up. I do apologise if I have. My preparation is very, very poor. Should we go to that? We'll go to that on the split screen because it was 0-0. And I know we got some Wednesday-ites in the chat here. Slap on the wrist here for my preparation. Watford in 9th with 4 points. Wednesday also with 4 points. Let's just bring up, we'll bring up Sofa's score on the split screen and have a little discussion about it. My apologies if you're a Wednesday or a Watford fan waiting for that one. Wednesday there. Again, we're interested to see how Matt Penny does. Joost van Aken making his return. I saw an article on that. Wednesday maybe still looking to add a forward in there. Rhodes and Windass starting up top there. Watford sold Estupinian during the week. Glenn Murray, one of my favourites there, starting up top. 0-0 in this one. Let's see if the numbers revealed anything. If anybody watched, smarten us up in the chat, please. The numbers say 51-49, 8 shots apiece, 1 big chance apiece, 352 to 356 in the passes. The numbers, without me seeing the game, say that was very even. But let me know. Wednesday, 4 points from the first 2 games. That'll do Wednesday. Well, it's promotion form, isn't it? That'll not if you got minus 12 points. You finish on 80 points there rather than 92. But that will do Wednesday all day long, won't they? Let's have a look here. Pitchmore Owl, hope Sheffield Wednesday win our appeal against the minus 12 points in November. Stranger things have happened, and the EFL have been made to look more stupid than that, haven't they? Comley says, very happy with 4 points from Cardiff and Watford. I bet you are, yeah. Someone offered me that at a Snapchat hand. I totally agree with that. Darbo, for one of the goals, took 3 players out. Yeah, Darbo did look good, the right wing back, didn't he? Owlite. Okay. Owlite, indeed. When did Van Aken last play before this week? I've got no idea. If Sheffield Wednesday win the EFL, we'll have a legal battle with all clubs waiting to happen. Can't see them getting away with the appeal. The IDCs are softs to begin with. Yes, lots of videos on FFP on the channel, so we'll keep a wide berth from that. I know John has read up on this big style from chatting with him way back when. See, we predate all of this, John, discussing the 9 points Birmingham got, didn't we? There we go. Amazed Sky haven't picked Watford v Luton for coverage next week, haven't they? Who is it? Yeah, that seems ridiculous. I've seen Luton have waited so long for that. Reckon half of the world's vineyards would go under if you ever stopped drinking wine, Ben. Thanks, Eliza. Not entirely innocent myself, though. Cheers. Look, I don't have many vices in this world, but come on. I like a wine, hey? Wednesday had a penalty shout turned down. Second half, Watford. 2 points a game. We'll keep Wednesday up. 2 points per game. We'll put Wednesday in the playoffs. That'll be 80, won't it, with a minus 12. So, yeah, very good. Wednesday hitting decent form, but starting on minus points. If they keep up the form, they'll be 20th by Christmas. Yeah, indeed. Top comment. Watford have been poor so far this season. You should be sponsored by a wine company. If anyone can recommend any wine companies, yes, I would love to be sponsored by a wine company. Right, sorry, I completely messed that up. Right, let's go to Forest, where all is not well because they've lost both of their opening games. What was the score the first week for Forest? I can't remember. Someone remind me in the comments. Did they even have a goal to their name? No, they lost 2-0 at QPR, didn't they? No. So, yeah, the expected lineups there. I'm just scanning everything. Carl Jenkinson in over, was it, what's his name? Robinson? Jordan Gabriel, excuse me. The right back, Yuri Ribeiro in, so fullbacks in there. But they couldn't deal with big Kiefer Roberto Francisco Moore. And sadly, look at Toby Figueiredo in the middle of the box falling to his feet there. He's not been fouled. He's just been completely physically dominated by Kiefer Roberto Francisco Moore there, who heads in his first Cardiff goal. And everybody, inject this into your veins. This is pure Warnock, this goal. A long throw in, half cleared, lobbed back in the second ball. Sean Morrison flick on. Kiefer Moore stabs it home. Love it. Inject it into your veins, ladies and gentlemen, there. That is pure Warnock, even though he's Borough manager now. He will have enjoyed that one. Lamouchi is, from what I'm hearing, under a lot of pressure here. And remember, Mr. Marianakis is pretty crazy, isn't he? Let's be honest. So 2 games gone, 2 defeats. This has got Forest sack their manager by Christmas written all over it, hasn't it? 57 on the possession to Forest, 13-9 on the shots, 9 corner kicks. But I say it's always revealing. I've said it 50 times this video. They conceded 2 big chances and they didn't take their 2 big chances. Ergo, they lose the game 2-0 and Cardiff get the win. Cardiff have got a bit of a hoodoo over Forest, I think. Let's have a look at some of your comments. Ben can't be sponsored by wine. He's sponsored by Set Piece Goals. And Cardiff give us 2 as ever. There we go. I miss Smithies, says James. Well, Smithies is in goal for Cardiff. There we go. Blue Nun. That reminds me of Alan Partridge there when he goes into... Is Harris the new Warnock? More to Cardiff as a marriage made in heaven. Absolutely. Colin out on the corona. What a shame. We love Colin. Good luck. Good luck, Warnock. There we go. So that is, I think, everything. Have I done every game? I should have. Let's have a look at the table then, guys. Let me just take my rolling banner out. And you can see we got some heroes at the top there. Reading, Bristol City and Luton all have won both of their games and have 100% records and 6 points in the sweet spot there. Chasing Bournemouth, Norwich, Birmingham, Millwall, Swansea, Watford will all be very happy with 2 points per game. As I say, you take that at any time in the season. That is absolutely fine. Don't you worry about that. And then we've got some win-loss people there. Blackburn, Brentford, QPR. We should also include Wednesday at the bottom there who've done 2 points per game. But sadly, they have the -12. Then the single pointers there. Preston, Borough, Stoke. And the really bad starters there. Derby, Barnsley, Huddersfield, Forest, Wickham. 0 points for that lot. I'll give Barnsley a pass because they did not play badly and were hampered by red cards. But I'm worried given the Forest ownership. I think Derby will be fine. I'm worried about Huddersfield and Wickham, though. And yeah, Forest, well, who knows what they'll do if they're below where they consider that they should be. Here are your top scorers, guys. And Adam Armstrong scored a hat-trick, so he's out in front on 4. Also scored in the opener, didn't he? So well done, Armstrong. Great start. Kiefer Moore with a double. Matt Godden has scored in both games. Lyndon Dykes has scored in both games. And then a whole slew of people on 1 goal thus far. Our top-rated players across 2 game weeks, as you would imagine, Armstrong up the top there, given he's got 4 goals. Callas has played both games for Bristol City. He has an 8.2 SOFA score rating. Bit of fun. Don't take them too seriously. Etheridge straight in at Birmingham. Look there. Under Aitor Karanka, Birmingham have 2 goalkeepers in the top 10 players in the league there. Look further down at Zach Geacock there. Josh De Silva, he's in there. Craig Cathcart, they're all goal scorers, aren't they? Marlon Pack, that's an interesting one. Birmingham fans have been enjoying Ivan Sanchez as well. Ivan, if he's Spanish, probably. Rafferty, Geacock, we've mentioned. Brad Johnson at the bottom there. He scored in the opening game. Right. Shall we do some Q&A? Get your questions and your comments in and let me know. Yeah, Josh says Callas is going to be out for weeks, isn't he? So that'll only be on 1 game there. How did I get to the Reading game? I had press accreditation for the Reading game. Etheridge made top 3. He made 1 save. Well, did he complete all his passes? Did he do anything wrong? All in the numbers, isn't it? Hey, get your questions in for this one. Off to work. Enjoy, Charlie. Did you like what you saw from Reading? Yes, in that they took advantage of what was put in front of them and won the game. However, they could have lost that game without the red cards, I think. So just keep your powder dry so far, Charlie. What I would like to see from Reading, I think Swift is a bit wasted as a number 10. I'd like to see him brought back. Do you know what I'd really like to see in total football terms? I'd like to see Elise and Swift be the double pivot. I'd like to see him move Ajaria into the number 10 position. I'd then like to see Lucas Zhao left and Yaku Maite right, with George Puskas up front. That would float my boat for Reading. They'd probably not be very well balanced, but they'd have some goal power on the pitch, believe you me. G-Cot getting a rating that, look, it's the average rating for the 2 games so far. So, of course, he didn't play. But, yes, like I said, I tried to warn you, don't take the ratings too seriously, guys. Will Birmingham make the playoffs under Karanka, asked Matthew. No, I don't think so, but he started very, very well. Do you see any big move in the transfer market this week? I think we're talking about Ismail Sarr and Emi Buendia, aren't we? Are those happening this week? And Carl and Grant. So certainly some big players to go out. Unpopular opinion, Bristol City will finish top 2. It's a very popular opinion today. Lots of excitable Bristol City fans here. Thoughts on the Millwall v Burnley game in the week, Ben? Well, it's just a nuisance for Millwall, isn't it? They've got 4 points from the first 2 games, some 2 clean sheets as well. They'll just want to get it done. Did I get to Sainsbury's for the Rehocker, Lee? Not yet. I'm still on the South African white. So, yeah, we'll give it a look. I do like a nice spicy old Rioja. Evening to Joe in the chat there. Paul Cook, a good shout for Forest if Lamucci gets the boot. Paul Cook's a good shout for anyone in the Championship after what he did at Wigan last season. However, the rumour is Eddie Howe, isn't it? There's big talk. Eddie Howe. I can see Mr. Marianakis loving that and paying him a boatload of cash to go and manage Forest. So, look, I'm a Lamucci fan. I'd definitely give him, at least until they mathematically can't be promoted. But, hey, I'm not Marianakis, am I? So, Holden is taking us up. Yes, the theme of this stream is Bristol City fans are loving life, isn't it? There we go. Screw the playoffs. I'd take 12. Yeah, right, says Johnny. He knows how Blues work, doesn't he? There you go. Is Marcus Stewart my favourite? Of course he is. And Marcus Stewart was in the commentary box for Ipswich versus Bristol Rovers. Ipswich 2 wins from 2 so far this season. Check out the Blue Monday podcast tomorrow. No, he hasn't. Callas injured and out for today. Well, as I said, don't take those ratings too seriously. I apologise if I ever make any factual error ever in these shows, Paul. But yes, don't take them too seriously. It's just an average number crunching. So he obviously played well in the first game and scored, didn't he? Which is why he's up there. Who would be my bottom 3 if team's current form now was the same for the rest of the season? Well, the current bottom 3. But look, Wycombe have started very badly, haven't they? Where's mid-table? Where's mid-table? God damn it! Let me bring it up. And I'll move your comment out of the way. Oh my God. Sorry, technical nightmare here. Not Forest, not Sheffield Wednesday, the way it's going. Huddersfield, I'm worried about. Wycombe and Huddersfield, I'm worried about so far. And I don't want to go all League One centric, but Rotherham possibly as well. But hey, come on. Predictions, schmedictions. It's only 2 games gone, isn't it? So, more City fans in this stream than we get down the gate. Hey, you're welcome. Come on in. Hey, we love it. What are your thoughts on the transfer window still being open with the season started? Asked Ashley. Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it? However, I think it's a necessary evil. I think a lot of clubs don't really know where they are financially because of COVID, and they might not need. They might need it open a while, and it might, it might benefit them to know, especially if we get other lockdowns and fans are kept out even longer. Although, actually, in terms of money, if it's only going to be small amounts of fans, then that doesn't make any difference to clubs' bottom line because there'll all be fans that have paid for season tickets anyway. So, there we go. Swansea making playoffs, possibly. I didn't have them down for the playoffs. I just think their managers have pulled out rabbits from hats. Lots, haven't they? Where's Emmy going? Not linked anywhere recently. Depends what publications you read, Russ. I see him linked with a different team every day. Who might get sacked first? Eddie Howe potentially back in the Championship before the end of the season. Well, Lamouchi's your watch guy at the moment, isn't he? Yeah, not that I agree with that, but he's your guy, sadly. Any Bournemouth fans, tell me how Brooks did. Are you much of a whiskey drinker, Ben? No, I'm not, Steve. I'm not a spirits drinker at all. Wine, beer, and spirits. No, I'm a wine drinker. You know me. South African white. South African. Can you say that, Ben? Oh, South African white wine. God. You're never far from offending someone. There we go. Is that the real Steve Morrison? Yeah, that's the real Steve Morrison. He's here every week. Thoughts on Birmingham so far? Very impressive. As I said, 2 clean sheets, 2 good results against Swansea, who were playoff semi-finalists, and Brentford, who were playoff finalists. Great. Long may it continue, but it's going to be hard. How will wait for the right job in the Prem? I suspect he might just do that. And Ipswich beat the Gas. There we go. Bristol City to win their first 5 games, lose the next 8. Hey, Lee Johnson's not the manager anymore, so we'll see if it's ingrained in the club or it was just streaky Lee. Can always tell managers on the lookout for jobs. They appear all the time on the TV. Yes. I remember Tony Pulis was very good at that, wasn't he? He would literally, and he was very good because he would disappear and then all of a sudden, boom, there he was. Oh, Mick McCarthy. Yes, I'll do your co-coms. Mick McCarthy. Yes, he wants back in, doesn't he? Oh, Mickma, I'm sure. Where do I think Cov will finish the season? For one for my life, I'm hopeful. Nathan, I think Coventry will be in the 3rd quarter of the table, so between 13th and 18th, if I've added that up right. So, yeah, I think they'll be decent, Coventry. Pattern of play will suit this division. Has everything settled down with Paul Lambert after falling out with everyone? Ipswich for promotion. Oh, I'm not getting involved in that. Refund my $5, says Paul. There we go. I didn't know Thomas Callas didn't play. Hey, I will make factual mistakes every now and then. Just correct me. That's all. We need a striker down the den. Who do you think would be a good fit? Troy Parrott. Let's give him a chance first. There we go. What's not to like at Bristol City? Good recruitment, young and talented manager, great squad, capable in the Championship. All looks very good on paper, doesn't it? But football is played on grass. Let's see. Aaron's linked with Barcelona, which is extraordinary. Well, it's extraordinary if they sell him. Links are links, aren't they? But as I always say on my transfer updates, let me see the guy holding the shirt up and then we'll discuss it, hey? Who do you think Zahor will down? As in what? Who do you think he'll go to? Well, Sheffield Wednesday or Borough? Borough, I think, given Warnock is there. Will you name your next fish Bielsa? I have to run that past HQ. Will there be a watch-along stream for #United Feast Hometown in the FA Cup? No, but only because it clashes with a watch-along between Villa and Sheffield United. Only read the proper ones. Athletic, pretty spot on. Again, Russ, like I say with transfers, I do transfer update videos. If I see Emi Buendia holding up a shirt, we'll talk about it. But in the meantime, he's a Norwich player. We won't get into the rumours. Actually says Brooks did okay. Not 100% fit from the Brooks of it. I added that in. There we go. Wonder where Deeney and Andre Gray will end up soon. Big link with Deeney and West Brom, isn't there? Surely too good for this league. Let's see. Watch-alongs this week. We are looking at Villa Sheffield United on tomorrow night. There will be a Q&A stream at some point, maybe on Tuesday. Championship preview will be on Thursday. And then we will be doing... Who's playing on Friday night? I can't remember. Whoever's playing on Friday night, I can't remember who it is. Oh, has that been moved? Because wasn't it supposed to be Norwich and Bournemouth? We might have to have a look at that, unless they've moved another game to Friday night. Where do I think Streaky Lee will go next? Hey, if Paul Lambert loses a few games, do not be surprised if Lee Johnson ends up as Ipswich manager. He'll want to go higher than that, but don't be surprised, let's just say, from my sources. Fine margins cost the Millers yesterday. Bad mistake by a Hector in a game we deserved the point. Interesting. Did look a tight one from what we saw there. Is that shirt in the frame next to you? All Ipswich kits. Yes, that's exactly what it is up there. My missus got that for me. Would you believe she's working in her primary school where she works. And literally a doorstop trader came in and was selling them. And bless her, she bought me one. So there we go. What do you mean? I never fall out with anyone, apart from everyone you've ever fallen out with, Paul. There we go. Ben, do you watch Under the Cosh? Mark Bircham episode. Do you know what? I really struggle to catch up with lots of football YouTube stuff. Often when I'm making so much content now, trying to do this full time, I tend to want to watch, sort of chat podcasts and politics. And I'm interested in sort of behavior studies and psychology and things like that. So I tend to watch that on YouTube because I'm a bit footballed out. So I don't watch enough in fact, I don't watch many actual football contents because, and I'm not blowing smoke, all my information I literally get from you guys. When something happens, I get loads of people just tell me, which is fantastic. And I thank you all for it there. Earthworm James, Baconson was amazing for Bristol City again. Yeah. Don't worry. My radar is on him. Lots of Bristol City fans have been telling me on that one, Earthworm James. So all good. Do you think Andre Ayew will leave Swansea this transfer window? Who's going to pay the wages though? Because the issue is they could let him go on a low transfer fee to a Premier League club, but who are they going to sell him to in the Championship? Unless, like with these Stoke players, he goes to Turkey on loan or somewhere where FFP seems a little bit looser. But no, I'm not sure he will. I think Mill will need a number 10, not a number. That's interesting. Could be right about that. What's your opinion on Birmingham's defence? Well, they haven't conceded any goals yet, Sam, so it's very good, and it's Aitor Karanka's. Aitor Karanka's calling card there. Heung-min Son and Harry Kane, brilliant. Oh, don't talk to me about Heung-min Son today. Please don't. We'll talk about that in the Fantasy League video later on. Johnson the Pundit, taking the Gary Neville career route. Yeah, maybe. Nathan Jones is taking us up. Optimistic, but there we go. Do you think Wednesday will stay up? At the moment, yes, because I can see other basket cases and they're playing well, but -12 is -12. That's hard. So at the moment, yes. So I've already turned tail on my prediction of them going down. Annie is gutted I didn't do Stoke. Sorry about that. That they're in the most private way I can be. There's a COVID issue involving Shaylee's work that needed sorting out and some planning needed happening. So that took precedence. There we go. Is it Borough? Thanks, Russ. Although we look on team says Forest and Huddersfield. Forest. Yeah, that's it. Forest and Huddersfield. Well, that would be very interesting. I look forward to that actually because one of those teams is going to get a well-earned win, or they're both going to get some points that they need. Clem, not won 2 opening games in a row. What do you think of our chances? Look, as I said, I was at the Reading game. I saw it in the flesh. They could have lost that without the red cards. I know that's ifs, buts, and maybes. So great stuff so far. Paunovic, 2 wins from 2. I do feel Swift is a bit wasted as a number 10. Bring him back. Stick Michael Elise up there or Ejaria inside or something. But Clem, what do you think of my idea? And this is, look, I'm not a football manager, but Puskás up front, Zhao to the left, Maite to the right. Imagine defending against that, for God's sake. Number 10, who was I thinking? Ejaria, and then Elise and Swift as the double pivot. Okay, or maybe play one of Rinomota or Josh Lauren. But imagine that goal threat if he played Ejaria, Zhao, Maite, and Puskás. I can imagine why he wouldn't, because probably the defensive discipline of those 4 players together wouldn't be great. But imagine the goal threat. Be great, wouldn't it? There we go. Norwich Bournemouth moved from Friday. So, yeah. So we can get a dunking away at Man City on Thursday. There you go. Norwich Bournemouth's on Sunday. I don't think it'll be on TV. I used to do Watford, Luton, watch on. Is it the early kickoff? I don't think it's on Sky, is it? If it's not on Sky, it's difficult for me to do a watch along because obviously there's going to be far less people tuned in watching along. So it's tricky for me. Tricky. I think I've answered that one. Opinions on Derby's poor start and can they turn it around? Yeah, not impressive so far for Derby. I think Matthew pointed out earlier they started slow. Surely they will turn it around, but I think Koku's good, and I think Derby have got a load of good players, so it should be fine. And from what I've heard, let's just say, expect much manoeuvring at Derby in the next few weeks. We got a super chat. We got to quickly jump and say thank you to Gaza. Thank you so much for that £5 super chat. Very, very kind indeed. What are my opinions on Cov getting Sam McCallum back? Well, having watched you on Friday, I don't think you need him. I thought Giles and Darbo were superb. So, but McCallum's, from what I've heard and what Russ has told me, a very, very decent player. So, can't have too many good players in your squad, but really like Darbo and Giles. Unless you're busy Saturday afternoon, a watch along of Soccer Saturday would be good. Last game of the season, it was great, wasn't it? Yeah. I can't guarantee they'll all be as exciting as that. There we go. Garanka has a 45% clean sheet percentage. That is ridiculous, isn't it? There we go. Bennett, Wallace, Parrott, even Thompson can play in number 10. Yeah, there we go. Talking about Millwall's striking options. Is Akinfenwa was not fit yet. And even when he is, I doubt he plays many minutes this season. The Wolfman. Well, we'd all want a number 10 if we played the right number 9, i.e. Smith. But since he won't select him, no. Who started up top for Millwall then? Was it Bodvarsson or Bradshaw? Forrest are playing awful. Yes, the table would seem to intimate that. Clem hopefully agrees with my assessment of Reading. Kate, Tuesday night under the lights. Luton play Man United. It's not even our biggest game of the week. Brilliant time to be a Luton fan. Playing so well, up the top of the table. Man United and then Watford in the same week. Love it. Absolutely love it. How much do you regret Mick McCarthy leaving Ipswich? Not at all, really. That had run its course. Do not be confused with Mick McCarthy leaving and then what happened afterwards. Okay. So let me just do a quick 30 seconds on this because it's important people understand, because the way Mick has managed to spin this to everybody is very different than the actual truth. Mick would have you believe that he left, and because he left, everything went wrong. That obviously is not the case. What you find with managers like McCarthy, Houghton, Bruce, I like all of them, people who play very rudimentary football, simplistic football, which is fine. I don't have an issue with it, is that when they go, it's often very hard, particularly if you want to go from non-passing football to passing football, unless you're given an entire summer and 5 or 6 new players. It's very hard to convert players who are used to playing very straightforward, simplistic football, i.e. knock it into the channels, and let Daryl Murphy do some work, keep away from the goal, etc. It's very, very hard to make that transition. Obviously, then Ipswich gave Paul Hurst the job, and the signings were very bad, the sales were very bad, and he couldn't make that transition. So I don't so much regret Mick McCarthy leaving Ipswich. It was the succession planning afterwards that was an absolute mess. But yeah, don't necessarily fall into that narrative, because if you look wherever Mick has been, it's very hard for someone to follow him, because it's very, very bespoke what he does, and it's very straightforward. And sometimes players get so drilled in doing that when they're asked to do something else, they absolutely tank. Look at Bart Bielkowski, who's now doing brilliantly for Millwall. He was asked to do some other stuff and had the worst season of his career. So there you go. Right. Let's have a little look here. Same scenario as Blues and Rowett, Ipswich and McCarthy. Getting rid wasn't the issue, it's the wrong replacement. And it's so frustrating as a fan of one of these teams, don't you think, John, when people look from the outside and they do the overly simplistic, you see, what you did wrong was that. And it's like, no, there was another 500 decisions that went wrong after that. So there you go. This is why the Championship is so good. Fans of all teams discussing why their club will get promotion. Tons of goals. There we go. Paul, interesting take on Houghton interview at Bristol City. He had very few ideas. Holden totally up. Well, yeah, let me know if you know anything. DM me if you want, Paul, off the record about that. But if you've heard the same things as I've heard, which I find very surprising, actually, from someone who comes across so professional as Chris Hughton. But yeah, if he tanked the interview and went in there expecting to get the job without knowing something, when we now know that Bielsa, who, you know, as much as I respect Chris Hughton, Bielsa had already watched 700 Leeds games and knew every single player in the squad and knew what he wanted, who he wanted to bring before he'd even done an interview. Then, yes, then if Holden outperformed him, then he outperformed him. I think a similar thing happened with an England job once. So yeah, but let me know what you know privately if you do. Right. I think we're there. We've gone over the 1 hour. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you so much for the super chats. And thank you, as ever, to Russ for sponsoring these review shows. Very, very kind. Russ is our fan sponsor for the Championship review shows all the way through the season. Russ Peake, a fan and now a friend, despite Ben's terrible taste in football teams. And he gets one over on me every time because I have to read that out because he's the sponsor. So thank you to Russ. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. This week, tomorrow, I'm saying too much, we will be live. It'll be Dearly Departed live for those of you who follow those teams. So it'll be Sheffield United, Aston Villa. We'll do a live watch along of that at 6 o'clock tomorrow and probably a transfer update during the day. So check that out. There'll be an Ask Away stream possibly on Tuesday night. We'll review the Championship teams in the League Cup pre-recorded during the mornings this week. We'll be doing Fantasy League on Thursday, and then we'll be back live Championship preview Thursday night and Championship watch along. Who did we say it was? Huddersfield and Forest on Friday night, and hopefully I might be able to get into a Zampa Road based game at the weekend. Fingers crossed. So let me know if you want to shout out in the chat before we go. So it should be another great week on the channel. Really, really appreciate all of your input and all of your support. Let me know if you want a shout out and if there's any coming in. I'll hold on 2 seconds for that. And thank you, everybody, for joining us here. I think we're all good. There we go. We'll give a shout out to Ashley, who says, cheers, Ben, there. And unless there is any more, I will bid you all farewell. Keep me in contact. Keep me in touch with anything that's happening that you know at your club. Good work, Ben. Cheers to Alex. Cheers to John and Russ, sponsor Russ, and the Wolfman, Archie, Paul. Thank you for the super chat, Paul. Very, very kind. And I'll see you all throughout the week. One other request, if anyone's got any contacts with players or ex-players, we'll start to try and get some interviews down the channel. Now I have some time. So do DM me if you've got any direct contacts with any players or ex-players. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And I'll see you very soon. Over and out.